Greetings, wrestling purists. Hutch Henry's here, and another video for you about John Cena's heel turn. And I'm feeling better about it now. I wasn't going to do this video because it turns out most of the people in my personal life and my wrestling sphere, they disagreed with my opinion. All the top reviewers and podcasters and people in the space that I like to watch and I respect, they all completely disagree with my opinion. The only people that agree with me are like the 22-year-old haters, and every video they have is about like, SmackDown sucked this week and that sucked this week. So they, of course, hated the John Cena heel turn. But I am feeling vindicated. Because a lot of people who either didn't, who left me on red or told me they disagreed with me, a couple of them are coming around being like, hey, bro, there's 2 weeks in a row now coming out. This is a little bit boring. And I want to touch on a few things that I did not just touch on now when I recorded my piece, which we're about to play for you. But, man, John Cena talking about the joke, the joke of the you can't see me joke, and you press this invisible man joke for years and years. Bro, you are wearing a you can't see me t-shirt. You have a new one every goddamn month or week, and on this tour, every single time you show up. Like, you're not like my wife, who thinks I can read her mind half the time. Like, if you didn't want us to say that, why are you doing it? Like, you're stopping and going, you can't see me before the shuffle. Like, why don't you stop? Why don't you pull a Neville? Like, go to the corner, grab the ropes to go up in the corner, and then be like, no. Pull a Samoa Joe, nope. Be like, nope. No, you can't see me. We're not doing that no more. Like, we can't read your mind. And you're selling these shirts that say you can't see me and all this stuff. Like, give me a break. And you're going to ruin wrestling for everyone. Like, this intense John Cena, like, angry man face. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Everything you have in this world you owe to wrestling. Bodybuilding into wrestling and then into acting. It all came from your exposure from wrestling. How can you have so much hate for the industry and I'm going to destroy the industry? You want to have an excuse? Great, dude. Is your excuse that the fans are schmucks? The fans are assholes? That is a crappy excuse. Now, don't get me wrong. John Cena is doing an amazing job. The heel turn is awesome. Like, I love this. Except for the fact I just don't like the topic. Like, if we're going to say, okay, you're turning heel, and the reason and topic is that the fans are schmucks, and the fans have treated you like shit, yay, booing all this time, and you feel like a slave, and you've been manipulated, and, you're done. If that's where they're going, which they are, you could not do better than what John Cena is doing right now. This is intense. Calling out kids, calling out, like, it's great. Except for the fact that it's freaking not great. This is stupid. Anyways, you know what we do here. Let's get into it!
How do you like it? I'm a novice at this. I make a few mistakes.
Jushin Thunder Liger.
I don't know.
So it appears that people are finally coming around to my point of view. I'm finding that these John Cena promos, they just don't seem realistic. Like, John Cena has never been the best actor. I mean, grabbing the Money in the Bank briefcase with his goofy face and all of his, like, earnest feelings and reactions to people. Like, John Cena's great with his promos and he breaks people down, and like, are you done? Are you through? And the way he treats people in the ring. But it's always seemed rather fake. He's always had this veneer of, like, these are the lines I'm using. And he's never been the best actor. And in my opinion, the part of this whole storyline that they've dropped, the ball, which is the whole Rock angle, works perfectly into the fact that he's not the best actor. Now, I'll stick with my initial point here is that these promos seem fake. Like, I keep expecting him to, like, crack a smile or something, and, like, John Cena's done a ton of interviews, in character, out of character. I mean, John Cena is his real name, so his wrestling character is his real name. He's been able to be more of himself this entire time since turning away from Thugonomics than almost any other wrestler over the last few decades. And this, we know what he's like. He's done these interviews. He's talked with people, all this Make-A-Wish stuff. So the fact that this entire turn is so intense, like, I'm going to ruin wrestling for everyone, and you fans have treated me like crap, and painting the brush of the entire audience as one type of person or human it's so bargain basement, basic bitch heel stuff. Like, this is very Memphis, very 80s. Like, this is what
your standard heel turn is. Like, you fans betrayed me, especially if you're having like a babyface tag team breakup. And, it's like you always cheered for him more, or you betrayed me here, or the fans can very obviously see that the tag team partner didn't drop kick him on purpose. Like the heel moved out of the way or whatever, and then the tag team partner's like, "Fuck you! That's the second time you've hit me this month." It's like they never watched the matches or the TV show or anything. They're like, "No, I'm convinced you did that on purpose, so we're breaking up." Like, it's all very basic stuff. And as a person who promotes and writes for my own wrestling promotion out there, my own indie promotion, part of starting basic storylines is spoon feeding people. You make it a little obvious so that they can catch on, and then you could perhaps get complicated. The way that a lot of people that aren't diehard sickos will say that AEW has no storylines is because they don't spoon feed at first. They sometimes, I don't know, when it comes to AEW storylines, they're more long, they're more played out, and it's more like behind the scenes stuff, and you got to be on Twitter and you got to know their personality. It's just not as straightforward storytelling as WWE. Now, I love all wrestling, man. I love like shoot fighting, Bob Backlund, Japanese stuff from the 80s and 2000s. I like Joshi, I like Lucha, I like AEW, I like Chikara, I like WWE. The last decade of Vince was not that great. It actually took me out of wrestling. I stopped watching it. So there you go. But in general, I like all wrestling. So this isn't me saying that the AEW style is bad. It's just very different. And I don't know, man. This John Cena thing is just not working for me. Now, we'll go back to where I was saying that the bad acting thing works. Where's The Rock? How is this all about John Cena and you fans are so shitty? And freaking Cody coming out again, being all altruistic. And like, Cody's not mad about getting beat up and smacked around by Travis Scott, who's also not around. He's mad that you want to take my title and you want to like diss these fans. It just seems very odd for where they began. This whole thing needs to center around The Rock. I mean, it was The Rock that gave him the like cutthroat signal. What's that James Bond movie, Quantum of Solace? It was the second, whichever one, where they go to the guy's house at the end and they catch him. So I'm pretty sure it's at the end of Quantum of Solace. They go to Mr. White's house, they catch him. In the beginning of the next movie, he's in the trunk. And so M and her bodyguard and Bond are there with this fucking guy, Mr. White. And Mr. White's like, "Oh, we used to think MI6 was breathing down our throats. They're watching all our moves." And he's like, "Turns out you don't even know we exist." And he's like, "First of all, we have people everywhere. Isn't that right?" And he looks at the bodyguard. The bodyguard fucking tries to shoot M and tries to shoot Bond, and it's the whole beginning scene. I feel like that was The Rock. The Rock was like, "Cody, sell your soul to me." And John Cena, the altruistic, forever babyface who just won, is there in the ring. And The Rock's like, "Be my man." And it's very much like, we have people everywhere. Like, Cody, high five, give me that hug. They had to wait for the cameraman to get out of the ring. Like, they were ready to do that shit right as soon as he said, "Go F yourself, Rock." But it's like, all the earpieces, if you actually watch the footage over and over, they all pause and they kind of talk. When the referee touches his ear, the cameraman, like, you see he like kind of stiffens up because somebody's probably talking in his ear, and then he gets out of the ring to film it from outside the ropes. And when they cut it and show it now, they just go straight to the cut of them hugging and the high five and whatever, and then the look from John Cena. But John Cena's being controlled here right now. So in my idea, the way to present this is, once in a lifetime, Cena goes against The Rock. Cena loses to The Rock. And then it's once in a lifetime. But by the next year, Rock has moved into position where he can use his power to make himself the WWE champion. He doesn't have to allow CM Punk to be in that match. He's giving it to John Cena. John Cena, during that year, sold his soul to The Rock, started becoming a Hollywood star. And even though he's a bad actor, this is where I'm saying it's very obvious John Cena's not a good actor, yet he still gets roles and he still does things. Because, he's jacked and he's like a friendly looking white guy. He fits in. They can fit him into movies. But he's not a particularly good actor. But he still gets the parts because he's part of the Illuminati, the 1%. He sold his soul, which is why he can move into Hollywood. And so during that year is where he like begins his burgeoning and growing career. And The Rock says, "I'm going to give you the title back at Mania." This is where it's no longer real. Our fake wrestling is no longer real. And John Cena gets the title back from The Rock. And from that 10-year point on is when he's kind of been bought by the machine. And like, you could even incorporate the US title challenge where he started giving the fans what they wanted more. And it wasn't all about him in the main event and going over the Nexus and beating everybody. Like, the fact that we started to like him more at the end of his career there, you can kind of play that into, I was giving the fans what they wanted and I felt dirty and I felt like a whore. And, you know, that I am angry. But the truth is that he should be like, have been bought off from that point on. And we just didn't know. And the storyline of his redemption is right there because John Cena is a good person. We know what he's like. He's done all these interviews, Make-A-Wishes. We've known him for years. And then the allure of Hollywood. It's like, it seems nice at first. Child actors, they all come in like smiley face. They're all happy. And then suddenly you realize you're in Harvey Weinstein's office sitting on a couch and he's undoing his pants. And you're like, well, wait, what's going on? And before you know it, you're at a Diddy party and you're having to make that hard choice. And you don't think anybody's going to ever know. And you've had you got a soma in you or some ecstasy and a couple of drinks. They're like, sure, whatever, right? Not everybody can be Cat Williams. And John Cena's fallen into this. And he needs to like shake it off and realize after winning the title, taking it from Cody, being a bad guy, he needs his redemption arc of like, oh my God, what was I doing? You know, and it can be there. I think it'd be great if he just stayed heel. And his redemption arc after that, in my opinion, can lead into Jey Uso, because it's going to have a shelf life, this whole Yeet and Jey, him being the one who sells his soul to The Rock. And especially because none of us feel he should be on top. I mean, there's Jey Uso fans out there, but right now everybody's, kind of down on Jey and down on the Gunther storyline, and it doesn't seem, it's not really working. He's getting some booze. And it could very easily be that he is the one who turns heel, and he's he's the Starscream of the Decepticons. He's running it, even though Roman should be the guy, and Roman can turn baby, and there's a lot here to work with. And after John Cena's redemption and CM Punk is really over, really freaking over now, and you got a shelf life with CM Punk as well. He's only got a couple years left. Cody's gonna have, I think, a bit of a longer career. He's a bit younger, so you can always go back to Cody. It should be CM Punk against the Cena and The Rock, and I never got my main event, and it's because of you two. You two are what took it from me. Rock taking the title and then not making it a three-way, and once in a lifetime became twice in a lifetime. And it was so cheap and shitty. And I should have been there. And then my staph infection immersed him by next Rumble, he was gone, right? This was the beginning of the end for CM Punk, was Rock and Cena taking it from him. And so CM Punk can be the guy to fight back. And heaven forbid he's got his favor from Paul Heyman is, I need Roman on my side. So it's Punk and Roman and Cody against Jey Uso and Fatu and The Rock and Cena. Or I guess Cena by this time will have probably turned babyface. We're talking like 18 months from now, like 2 Manias from now. Like this year's Mania, next year Mania. And then after that, Jey does the heel turn, because next year Mania would probably be soon after John Cena's redemption. If he really holds true to a year, then he wouldn't make it all the way to next Mania. But hey, this is the way I see it. And of course, this is just my Adam Blampede style, let me have a go version of things. But I really think this is bad. And I started this whole thing by saying people have finally come around. I got a lot of heat and hate. I got some people saying I didn't know what I was talking about. You only got 43 subscribers. Well, we're just starting. And I think it's 44 now, buddy. So thank you for subscribing after hating on me if it was you. But, people are coming around. I've had people say this week, hey, I didn't respond to you, or I didn't say anything about that video of yours, or I asked them directly and they were like, oh yeah, I don't know. And now they're saying, I kind of agree with you. After the second week of him coming out and just being like, meh, you fans. And then Cody coming out and being like, meh, these fans. They're starting to come around. If we get a third week of this without any Rock or any Travis Scott or anything groundbreaking, this thing's going to die a death, man. And I think I'm right. They need this to be more Illuminati, more lair peeling, more like deep state fucking crazy mind fuck manipulation, like the cutthroat Rock and the hug and the low blow. Like that was the biggest heel turn almost of all time. Certainly WWE, if you want to consider NWA to beat WCW. But I mean, there's the argument there. And bro, it's kind of lame now. Like at least NWO had that's right, We're working for Vince. We're from up north. We're bringing that style here. We're taking over. But like, what does John Cena have? You fans are assholes? Give me a break. He's the fucking asshole. Whoever wrote this fucking storyline is an asshole. Uh-oh, I threw an F-bomb in there. I'm not supposed to do that. All right. Hey, like, subscribe. Please, like I said, I've only got 44 subscribers. I need more subscribers to sound legitimate, obviously, because this guy's like, you only got 43 subscribers, you don't know shit. So obviously subscribers means validity. So, hey, help a brother out. Subscribe. But I guess we'll be back. I almost wasn't going to make this video, except I felt redeemed. So many people came and told me, you know, I'm starting to agree with you. So that's great. Like, subscribe, make a comment. Tell me I'm an idiot down below. The algorithm seems to like that kind of conflict. Let's do this. We'll talk to you next time. Hutch Henry's. Go follow Demand Lucha as well if you like good indie wrestling action. Canadian, authentic Canadian strong style lucha. Thanks a lot. Bye.